big news for the Browns this week, but before we officially jump into the Titans game, was we're welcoming home Kareem Hunt. Signs a 1-year deal with the Browns. I think it can be worth up to $4 million, probably depending on benchmarks that he hits and stuff like that. How do you guys feel? Because I know what my thoughts were. If you guys watched the post game live, I was not high on signing Kareem Hunt. I was also, if you watched that, if you couldn't tell, about to get lost in traffic. So
I honestly can't believe we did a live after it.
That was probably
I was during the game, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm up for this.
That loss though too. Just today's the first day I haven't sat around and pondered it. I was those memes of the from Narcos of Pablo Escobar just sitting on the swing by himself. That was me for the last 3 days, just sitting there, just.
And that swing is a recliner.
Yeah.
So I guess to hit what you said about Kareem Hunt, for me, I think it's a nice story. I think it's kind of a nice PR move on the Browns' part. They needed the depth piece anyway, but to bring that guy back, a guy that, is Nick Chubb's best friend and all that stuff. For me, though, it doesn't really push the needle at all. He's going to have the same role that he's had for the last few years. I think it's obvious to coaching, and Ford is the guy. They watched Ford and everything in camp. They know what they have. So they could have signed Kareem during the offseason. They didn't. I think now we're kind of in a bind. They bring him back. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. I don't think he's going to end up being this guy from Kansas City, his rookie season. I don't think anything like that.
No, I mean, I didn't want him back initially because I didn't think he played very well last year, and he looked slow, and he couldn't get the edge anymore, and I thought he struggled last year a lot. So Jerome Ford essentially beat him out in the offseason,
right.
You know what I mean? So Ford's going to be the guy. Could I see Kareem Hunt maybe getting a little bit more run than he did the last couple of years? Because, last year he was behind Chubb. There's a big drop-off from Chubb to Ford, so maybe it's more of a 55-45 type split. I don't know. We'll see. I think he signed Kareem Hunt back, though. At least you can get him on the field pretty much right away. He's familiar. You know what I mean? If we would have signed a James Robinson or, God forbid, a Leonard Fournette, or traded for a Cam Akers or something like that, they might not get on the field for a couple weeks. You got to get them up to speed in your system and that kind of thing. So I think it's the quickest fix. Maybe it's a little bit of a locker room booster, having them back in, because the locker room felt deflated. You know what I mean? Losing Nick Chubb, especially the way you lost Nick Chubb, that's a buzzkill. So having him back is a little bit of a pick-me-up, and I think the offense especially need a little bit of a pick-me-up. I heard he came back in 10 pounds lighter. Yeah, and so maybe he's got. And I did see some videos today. I thought he looked a little leaner. And he looked like he was moving pretty good. So maybe he's got a little bit of his explosiveness back. Maybe a little bit of his speed back. So that could be good. But am I expecting a ton out of him? No. And to be honest, it doesn't matter what this offense now. And we said this even before Chubb got hurt. This offense is going to go where Deshaun Watson goes.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter if we traded for Jonathan Taylor or Cam Akers, or, to be honest, even if Nick Chubb didn't get hurt. This offense was going to go as far as Deshaun Watson would take us. And so no running back we signed. It didn't matter that much to me. You just had to get somebody. And this is the guy who fits in the quickest. And he's a good locker room guy here. Everybody likes him. And I'm not cold-blooded. I'm going to be excited to see Kareem Hunt back.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm excited to see him play again and be in a Browns uniform. It just, I don't think it moves the needle for the offense, really.
Well, this is a guy who last year, in kind of a little more of a limited role than what we had seen in Cleveland, still put up almost 700 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns. His yards per carry dropped a whole yard from his whole career up to that point. So he did lose a step. The efficiency dropped off, but he's still effective. He can still be an impact, on third downs. He can be a good receiving weapon. Definitely down around the goal line. He's a bigger body back. Me and Justin were talking before the show. You saw Pierre Strong try to take a goal line carry and get absolutely wrecked. Yeah. Okay, he made the second one in, but we need a guy who can deliver that blow the first time, and that's Kareem Hunt.
And he's a good pass blocker.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? So he fits. I think he's gonna do what we need. But again, this offense is gonna go where Deshaun Watson takes us. Yeah. And that's just the way. That's why we went and got him, and that's the expectation for him, and that's what it's gonna have to be. That's just, if not, we didn't need to go get him. We could have played with any Joe Schmo. We could have kept Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
So yeah. So I'm excited though. I'm excited to see Kareem Hunt back. I didn't mean to gloss over you, John. Do you have any thoughts on Hunt?
Well, I mean, I said the same thing you said during our live. I mean, emotions were high. And you can't replace Chubb, and that's the only thing I was thinking about the whole night is you can't replace Chubb. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that we lost to the Steelers. I was literally just thinking about Chubb from that moment until the next 2 days. So I mean, I think I had the same kind of evolution you had with Kareem Hunt. I didn't think he was going to solve all our problems. I still don't think he's going to solve all our problems, but I'm excited to have him back anyway. I mean, he knows the system, and for that reason, I'd rather have him than like Cam Akers. I was actually on board with Jonathan Taylor, depending on what we'd have to give up and what we'd have to pay him. A lot of Browns fans weren't. Man, like I said, I just want to. We had to do something. I just want to see some sort of change because, we were just looking rough. But
I would say if you were going to make a move for Jonathan Taylor, one, you'd have to give up a bunch to get him. I heard they were asking the Dolphins for Jalen Waddle. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you'd probably have to part with more than you're willing to give up. And then you'd have to pay him so much. I mean, you would basically essentially be saying Nick Chubb's no longer going to be a Brown because you wouldn't be trading for Jonathan Taylor. And then if Nick Chubb rehabs, you wouldn't be paying two running backs $10+ million a year. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think that right now you're holding out hope that Chubb can pull off a miracle and come back next year. I mean, I really, really hope so. I don't, even if he does rehab and come back next year, I hope the Browns do right by him. I don't want to see them like just toss him to the side or something. Like this guy embodies Cleveland. Like the team better do right by Nick Chubb, or I'm gonna be salty.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.